and we're being told that we have no mic. Nathan Garrett here coming at you from Swift. So just so you guys know, the reason why that we had no mic is today we have no headphones. And so usually we hear Nathan the entire time, all the way through, and we continually talk in third person to ourselves the whole time. Mike is on now, everybody, and Zwift is going to be on here in just a second. But welcome to, again, the Wahooligan Super League. We're out here for race number 7. We're going to say all that again. We are live on Facebook, Twitch, as well as Mixer and YouTube. You can always go back and watch the broadcasts of our replays over on YouTube if you didn't catch them here, or on your favorite streaming platform. For those other places as well. We are into, we got all kinds of comments coming on through here. I was actually saying that you guys can comment over on Mixer as well as Facebook. I'll be following along with chat over there. And I'm loving Toby Kaplan coming through here and saying noob. Yep, we're definitely maybe a little noobish having no headphones on here as we are jumping into the race just momentarily. In just a second. Welcome back. Jason Flores says, what's up, Daffin? Good to see you as well. Michael Szymanski says he is getting some lip reading practice in sign language. Do not know it, but I'll work on it there, Anson, for you for next time. If you do want to jump into the broadcast along with all the jokers here making fun of Nathan on his amazing job on the live productions here, you can do so by jumping into mainly the Mixer and the Facebook chat. We'll be able to bring your face in there, at least your profile, just like we see Anson's there. We've got about 42 seconds to go. We've got 63 A racers right now. It'll be 6 laps. We're only going to be able to cover the A race mainly. Maybe we'll be able to jump into the B's, the C's, and the D's as we get further into the racing here, maybe down toward the end of the race. Draft got a big squad out. We're hearing from Daffod. So we'll have to see. Cartwright is joined. Things are going to go off tonight. Let's definitely take a look at how things have been going in this league, though, as it has been tracked. The Wahooligan No Pins Super League here. Currently in first place, we do have Leandro Messinil riding for draft, as well as Jim McQuaid there in second place in the A's, it looks like, for the standings. Riders are jumping out on the course, though, for the A category. 63 racers jumping on board here. We're going to have no Nathan today. It's just going to be Zwift, but that'll be good. We'll be able to pay attention more to what is happening in the race. Maybe we'll jump back and forth for some of the exciting moments here. But let's go ahead and see what's happening here. We've got Kalen here. Lots of the big hitters actually showing up. Maybe it has something to do with the broadcast being out here today. But good to see a lot of familiar names. A lot of orange numbers like usual. But looking up toward the front end of the race, it will be Race WBR right from the get-go. R. Duncan making himself known toward the front. Bard is in there as well from Race WBR. I was told that he's streaming. He's over on Twitch as well as YouTube, I believe, right now, streaming his race. If you do want to see his first-person perspective, you can go find Liam Bard's. Just go ahead and search Zwift over on Twitch, I think, if you want to be able to find him. I believe also over on YouTube if you don't follow him already. Madam Zimmerman here from Draft. We're being told that Draft is out in force today. Dempster is out there as well, coming from Team Draft. Yes, there are teams out on Zwift. As you can see, the little parentheses on the right-hand side of the screen tell you who they are riding for. Usually we are seeing Team Experimental. The Vikings are out in force. Team KRT with Vidar Mail is here. The mountain biker coming out of Norway. Good to see him showing up for some racing. We have got fall racing in full effect, boys and girls. The streams are going, and all the big hitters are definitely showing up today. The excitement is kicking off. 64 of them making their way on over toward the classic course. It's going to be 6 laps of Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious is what's going to be here today. 156 beats per minute here coming from Garodi Braves, riding for Race WBR, coming out of Italy. Now, quick little explanation for those of you who might be unfamiliar with what Zwift is. For those of you maybe just tuning in, I don't think there's going to be too many of you who do not know who might be following up with what's going on with Zwift Community Live or watching in one of the Facebook groups where we share the post. But if you are unfamiliar, this is a massive multiplayer online game in which all of these riders are actually being pushed forward. These avatars are actually being pushed forward by real wattage, real heart rates that you're seeing in the upper left-hand corner of the screen right now. 278 watts, 298 watts. Garodi here, coming out of Italy. In Italy, most likely. I'm saying that's his country. They could be anywhere in the world, but that's the country he's representing. He is actually putting out that much wattage with that heart rate right now, in order to move this avatar that we are looking at right here in front of us forward at the speed of 36 miles per hour in the game. 1.1 miles in total at this point, and just 2 minutes in, we're going to have to see how things do break up. Now, at this point in the race, definitely going to be just the initial breaks that do take place in the A category. If we go ahead and move our way down the line here on the right-hand side, we'll be able to see if there are any time gaps between the riders that might have dropped off. And we do see a couple here. N Hall from TFC, the Friday Criterium old school team, one of the first teams out on Zwift here in the all-yellow kit with the yellow Tron bike. Absolutely looking slick here. Nice setup there for that rider here. Now moving forward up a little ways, an animal emoji holding off in the back here, but it will be Heatherton, the next one, to fall off the pace from the front end of this group right now. So moving forward, then we're going to see it is going to be then a total, I think, of about 56 riders with our Egner here at the back. Dafford Williams from the KRT team, well-known rider here, out there with the sprint jersey as well. It looks like maybe the fastest time just amongst this category, currently holding on to that kit. Adam Zimmer from Draft. Fleetwood there from Vision Cycling, 146 beats per minute. As you can see, pretty chill heart rate. Fleetwood maybe going to be able to pull something off a little bit better here on this course. Known more for the flats, I think, Fleetwood, when it does go uphill on maybe if we were going to head over to Box Hill or some of the hillier courses out here on London, not able to hold on. Maybe perhaps have a good day out there. I could predict maybe a top 10, top 20 for Fleetwood. Hanging around at the back at 152 beats per minute. The pace is definitely not too high, as he is usually a mid-pack, but perhaps now going into the fall season, perhaps taking a little bit of summer fitness and going to show up in Nathan's commentary and let him know that he doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. Fleetwood perhaps going to have a little motivation to prove us wrong out here today and not going off of some of the past results. Let's go and move our way forward, though, see what's happening with the current results and who we do see out there today. We did say earlier, Leandro Messinil coming from Team Draft, that is, with 496 points in the series. 100 points for a win. That means he is only 4 points off currently, winning all 5 of his totals, actually. So all 5 of his races that count towards his best of 5 out of the 7 races that you can do. Jim McQuaid currently riding for Draft as well. 470 points right now in the series standings, and he has also got 5 races in, obviously, averaging about 94 points per race out there. So Draft currently holding on to the 1-2. It will be Race WBR, though, with Penn Henderson holding down 444 points, but only an 88-point average. So definitely not even anywhere near what Draft will be able to put out there. And it is Jim McQuaid here with Dempster leading them out from Team Draft. 188 beats per minute, looking to break things up on that first little kick into the classic course. Dempster leading things out. One of the riders who has made some, actually was able to take down the W over at the live event in London. Actually was able to make the London Crit live event there. Dempster, the champion of that event, letting us know that he's got some legs for Team Draft at the front end here. Cartwright now 5.8 watts per kilogram. They said things were going to go off when Cartwright shows up, and that is the truth. Cartwright, one of the best time trial specialists that we know of out on Zwift. 6.2 watts per kilogram from him. 167 beats per minute, not even close to maxing out at this point. Up into the 500 watts now. Also a finalist at the live event over in London, but did not have a good showing there, as it looked like he might have overheated on the day. Looks like a little bit of overheating happening right now, and the heart rate now dropping out just a little bit, just dying out on course there for a second. 4.8 watts per kilogram, knows it's not going anywhere with such a large group chasing him down. We've got D Muscles here making his way to the front now with Brusnik too. Phillips is there, and Vang, also I believe a mountain biker out of Norway. Vang and Mail, both riding for the KRT team. The Norwegians always super strong out there out on course. I'd be watching out for them in the sprints. They tend to show up for those, but we're just starting the first of 6 laps here as we make our way onto the classic course, and not too much is broken up just yet. Let's go ahead and see if there's any damage done at the back end of this pack as they make their way up towards the 1K to go banner and that little kick into the classic course. They will not be seeing that section again, though. It will be the Trafalgar Square, actually, that will be the kick each lap, actually, as they go through the Whitehall, I believe it is. So we'll see how that ends up playing out, though, each and every lap. Ford is out. Is that actually, no, excuse me, our Ford from the BRT team is actually off the back here, as you can see, with Angeli on that wheel. Will be Cassie here from Team ZHR now, just a little ways back, leading things out, holding on to that national championship character. That is actually Cassie Baldy, I believe, out on course here, leading these boys out. Pack of 4 here making the chases. It's going to be E. Angeli here with pack of 2. They are the first chase group out on course, and it will be C. Kelly now falling off pace at 182 beats per minute. Toby McTopeface now at the back is about 40. So let's go ahead and take a look through here and see if we can figure it out. I think it's going to be about 45, 46 riders total as we make our way through. Looking through a bunch of the comments here. Good to see them all coming on through. KRT's Scandi Army are here too. Good to hear. David Williams letting us know who is Draft. Matt Brandt is out in the house. Definitely a team member of Draft now. Matt Brandt also saying, oh no, you don't want to lose the draft with the big pack. Where's Nathan Martin? Jorvik, thanks a lot for tuning in. And good to see Martin, the organizer of the Swedish Zwift Riders and the SCR Racing Series, which we will be covering tomorrow, as well as we're in a little bit of a lull here before some of the attacks out on the classic course here, and a couple have fallen off pace, but we still have a solid 40 plus in this lead group. So good to see Martin jumping into here. Nathan is currently hanging out in the studio. We'll go ahead and head on over here and say hello real quick. We do not have the overlays on today for any of the streams, and we are experimenting with a little bit of just Zwift for some of our casts, just so you know. So we are experimenting with that. Let us know the feedback. If you like having just Zwift, if you like seeing our faces for some odd reason, let us know if you like the other overlays, and perhaps we'll get into those. The ones that look a little bit more like this is what you might be looking for, except for obviously Zwift as the mainstay over there. If you like that one better, let us know. Maybe we can have a vote about it, a poll over on Zwift Community Live. Make sure to watch out for that poll. Maybe we'll throw that out there, see what you all think. But we are experimenting with just Zwift as the mainstay so that everybody can see everything that is going on in the race a little bit clearer. So how many KRT riders we are hearing from Madi? Madi, it's a great question. We can't really count too well on the scroll here, but if you do want to see over at ZwiftPower.com, you can go ahead and check out the Wahooligan race live over at ZwiftPower.com, an amazing resource partnered up with Zwift. And they are able to, they pull information directly from all of the races. And because of that, you can go ahead and head over to the actual race itself. Log in over there so you can see everything that's going on. And as you do, you'll be able to see the live event. We also are seeing that they did add a Zwift Community Live is live streaming this at this time too. Amazing little addition to the results over there as well. So I really appreciate all the work that ZwiftPower.com does put in. But it does look like, from what I'm seeing from the live results, I'm seeing Dafford Williams, Tom O'Kalan from the KRT team. Oh my goodness. Morton Vang, Rob Britt, Sean Harmer, T. Kaplan, as well as Third Wheel, and then Tim Cartwright, Vidar Mail in there as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at least KRT riders in and amongst this lead pack right now. So they have shown up absolutely in force for this Wahooligan race now at this point. But Race WBR, I think, is going to be the strongest team out on course. Perhaps we are seeing Liam Bard is out there for Race WBR, Adam Agner, Alan Hugo, Dr. Wally Muscles is out there, as well as Marco Garodi. Nathan Newton is there, Neil Richards, Penn Henderson, Roman T, Ross Duncan is in there for the WBR team. Ross Hetherington, and then it will be Siege Govarts. I probably murdered that name, excuse me. Apologies up front on that. It does look like it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 riders from Race WBR. Definitely showing up to represent for the race out here today. Now moving into the one climb out on course, and this is where we are most likely going to see all the attacks. Now, we did miss an attack from Cartwright for a moment there, as we did get a little bit distracted, and it will be Cartwright along with Steve Young from Innovation, and this is a serious attack to be worried about. Actually, both of these riders have made live final events actually at 9.2 watts per kilogram and 15 seconds off the front. I'm not sure we're going to see them again. Draft being such a strong team, though. We've got Adam Zimmerman, the U.S. national champion, out on Zwift. Gavin Dempster is there. Jim McQuaid. Leandro's there as well. Scott Cunningham has shown up to support Draft. So we'll have to see if they're able to pull this back in to try and take down some more points for their team members that are holding down the first and second place. That will be Jim McQuaid and Leandro Messinio out there. But Cartwright, along with Young from Innovation Cycling here now, is getting away, and they've got a solid gap at this point over the rest of the pack. Engler now seeing that it is definitely a threat, throwing down 6.8 watts per kilogram. No heart rate monitor on the rider, so it'll be a little bit difficult maybe to get a result out of him in the final say of things. Dempster now here from Draft leading things out. Now this is going to be the smart move. If he just wants to work for his team, set a solid 5 to 6 on the front. Don't go too far over. Do what you can do for a minute or two. Let the next one come on through. That is how you make these gaps come right on down, because Cartwright along with Young, they're not going to be able to hold 6-7 watts per kilogram for too long. If you just hold right in that 5 or 6 for long enough, pull through with the rest of the riders, it most likely will come right back in. So 13 seconds though, still a large gap. It will be Angler here still. 5.1 watts per kilogram coming from him. Wolves is there. Looks like 2 seconds back from Angler at this point. The gap is coming down, but Cartwright not giving up the ghost just yet. 427 watts, 5.7 watts per kilogram. Young falling off pace though from the monster TT rider now. Cartwright seeing a little bit of daylight here from the wheel of Young. Young giving up the ghost now at this point for sure, it looks like, and going to go back to the pack. Will they settle in the moment they catch Young, or are they going to bring things right back together and work even harder? Young saying, nope, I'm not done. 9.8 watts per kilogram real quick there from Innovation Rider now, knowing that if he lets Cartwright go, it might be said and done. And Dempster still doing the work for Team Draft. 8 seconds now is the difference, holding down that 4 meters between him and the rest of the pack, actually gapping the pack a little bit. Is there an advantage for Draft at this point? I think Draft are speaking to each other though in either chats or somewhere in a Discord, because they're just sitting in knowing that nothing is going anywhere. This is going to be brought back together. They're not worried about 10 seconds. As long as it stays within that 10 seconds, they believe it's all going to stay together, and they're not going to be going anywhere too far at this point. So I think this will come back together eventually. Cartwright's given a little bit too much room, and Draft will ramp things right on up, but Dempster definitely the sacrificial lamb on the front end of this pack right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the chat coming on through. Catherine Allen letting us know who she is supporting. Smash it. WBR coming from Catherine. Thanks a lot for tuning in, Catherine. Really appreciate you jumping into the broadcast here. How many races are there in this series, Jeff? Thanks a lot for the question there. That is a great question that you're asking there, Jeff. And Jeff, there are a total of 7 races. Now, there was something with the one of the events or something, so it sounds like there's going to be one more race next week. That is not for sure. I was told that there's a high chance that there's going to be a race next week. Maybe if there's somebody from WBR that could confirm that, but I was told earlier today that I believe there's going to be one more race next week, so that people who are unable to join an event or something along those lines will be able to get their best of 5 in. So the series is not said and done, I don't believe, because of that X one that will be happening next week. A couple more coming on out here. Kurt Powell is saying, go, go, teammates WBR. Definitely representing out there today with, I think, 11 riders in this A category. Frank Deal's jumping in here. Good to see Frank Deal. Team X, go Team X. Andrew Weber saying, Cartwright could power a medium-sized city. I think you're right about that. Absolutely killed it at the CVR World Cup in London. Saw him walk away from the rest of the pack. We'll see if he's able to do that again today here in the Just Virtual World out on London. So good to see some people jumping in here and cheering on Cartwright and the rest of KRT. Craig Kolb coming on in here. Yes, one more race next week. Thank you a lot, Craig. Appreciate the comment there. So it sounds like WBR is letting us know that we are going to be having one more next week, and we'll be here for that Wahooligan race next week as well. Let's see if we got a couple more coming on through here. Come on, Liam. We've got Simon Edney saying as well. So if you do want to jump into the comments, let us know who you think is going to win, and we will definitely have a chat with you over there on the Facebook chat here. Now, coming on through, though, 34, 35. Now, this is the place out on course. A lot of times you do see these attacks. Zwift actually seems to even out the speed around the corner there, that hairpin 180-degree turn, and a lot of attacks do tend to come out of there. Cartwright with only 2 seconds on him. It looks like holding down a solid 5.6 watts per kilogram, 8.1 miles in. We are on to the second lap of 6, and we do have Golev here now, able to close it down from the Vikings. Bard is there. He had a little bit of encouragement there coming from chat, and he makes the gap now at this point. P. Henderson now closing things down, third wheel. Now also making sure that there is no gap. 1 second back, though, will be RT here from Race WBR. It does look like the pack, though, is just barely split up just a little bit. There is a few stragglers though, and it looks like it will be Toby McTobeface needs to get on things here. Coming out of Great Britain with D Muscles right on his wheel. Needs to hold on here at this point because this is crucial at 185 beats per minute, and with the main climb out on course coming up in just a moment and a gap that has gone out 3 seconds, 4 seconds, I think this might be said and done for this chase group unless some serious D Muscles makes its way to the front. But nope, it's 0 watts per kilogram as it goes nuclear here. And now we do have Jokabonis here now, 175 beats per minute, 4.6 watts per kilogram. Also off the back, Milliken here, team type 1, trying to close things down. Going to be another one that bites the duff. Cartwright actually, after being caught, makes his way to the back, calms it right on down, knowing that the climb is about to happen. But look at that heart rate fall. Talk about some serious endurance in this guy's heart as he is able to just throw down into that 5-6 watts per kilogram, attack off the front. Immediately the recovery kicks right on in. That's efficiency. That's huge amounts of miles put into the leg when you see things like that. Good to see Fiber hanging out on over here, as well as a few others saying, oh man, I need a smart trainer, coming from, I believe that is Mikey. Good to see you there. And a couple more saying that as well. If you do not know, smart trainers, for those of you who might be unfamiliar with this, actually make it so you feel the gradients in game. So right now it is a 0% gradient, but they're all about to kick up into the one climb out on course here, and we are going to see, I think it's a 6, 7, 8% gradient. Now it's a negative gradient though, so you actually feel that in the smart trainer, that negative 2%. It lets out just a little bit in order to give less resistance, but you'll feel the resistance on the uphill. You see the avatars stand up, and here it comes 5, 6, 7%, and this is where it matters, when the power to weight ratio really starts to kick in. Vidar Mail now with 6.9 watts per kilogram. Dempster trying to close it down. We just have a 3-second gap now, and every lap, this little bit that goes out, those little bit of gaps, that extra close down that you have to do every lap eventually is going to start breaking this group apart. But it's going to be 6 laps of trying to do that, and every single lap trying to follow that on. Those who are just hanging on by a thread are going to be starting to fall off later on in this race, but not quite yet. There's still plenty of stores left, but you got to dig every time into those glycogen stores, into that nitrous oxide, I like to call it, that extra kick over what you can supply oxygen to the muscles. That is what when the glycogen stores really start to ramp up in their uses. And those who do not have, or those who have to go extra into that VO2 max effort, are going to be the ones that start to fall off. And those who are just kind of tempered, kind of going into that, they're going to be the ones that are not pressured too much, or those may be playing it a little bit smarter. We haven't seen a lot from Britt here. Our Britt hanging in a whole lot. From the KRT, Adam Zimmerman not doing a whole lot of work either. We have not seen the current series leaders as well. McGonagall not, I believe, not going off the front too much either. Dafford Williams sitting in a whole lot. There's some big hitters in here that have definitely been taking it fairly easy so far. Fleetwood from Vision, maybe just hanging on. We'll have to see if maybe he did bring some summer fitness in here. Davis, we haven't seen a whole lot of him up toward the front. Team Experimental definitely hanging out on course here as well. So not a lot of action, well, there's been a lot of action on the front, excuse me. I mean, Cartwright does his thing, just wants to break this apart and get away and not have to deal with the rest of the pack for the rest, for the remainder of the race. It does look like Toby McTobeface here, 20 seconds back, is the gap that has been formed. Plenty still falling off. Ryland there, Palmer now, Wolves, but Dempster here, 39 total, it looks like, in and amongst this group. Looking through, though, I did see one off the front for just a moment. Still there. It does look like a KRT rider. We're trying to work our way forward here, but we need to be careful not to find ourselves on the other side of the course as we do click through. And we are looking at the top 5, top 10. It looks like was Kalen, actually. Tom Wolf Kalen, also a mountain biker, coming out of Norway here, making his way off the front. Not known to be the strongest TT rider. Usually is a climber. Definitely known for his climbing ability. Maybe just trying to loosen up the legs. Definitely letting us know, though, that he is an experienced Zwifter with that full disc in the back there. That is one of the most coveted, actually, setups that you can have. The S5 with the Cervelo S5 with the Zip full dish in the back 808s there, letting us know that he was a beta tester. I remember long days in the saddle, actually, 100 milers with the weekend cruise on Saturday. I believe Tom of Kalen was a part of some of those, so good to see him sporting that very rare to see 808 there in the back of the Cervelo S5. Now toward the front, now Bard, Race WBR, making sure the KRT's not going anywhere. And this looks to be nothing but a team effort here as we do finish up our second lap of 6. 4 to go out here as we look through, and it looks like definitely settling down again out here. Kalen looks like he's going to be caught. Maybe loosen up a little bit of the legs for these riders, but they weren't too concerned of it. And he, only at 5 watts per kilogram. Well, only at 5 watts per kilogram. You want to stay away from this group. You've got to hold down a solid 5 to 7, fluctuating continually in order to get away. And with still plenty of racing to go out here, I don't think that was going to be happening anytime soon. These riders have shown up in such force with these teams. Everything is going to be closed down so quickly. And that's what's amazing about the racing out on Zwift. Now we got a counterattack, though, it looks like, here from Draft. Immediately as soon as Tom O'Kalen is caught, we do have a rider here going off the front. Not sure which Draft rider it is. It definitely is a Draft rider here. It looks like it will be Dempster again, actually, the workhorse today. Britt now jumping right on his wheel. KRT covering it. It's Draft and KRT back and forth now with these counterattacks. Looking through here, Richards now from Race WBR, keeping things within striking range. Bard goes right along with it. Not sure he's going to be followed here. McQuaid now seeing that a few of the other teams are starting to respond. It's going to be Draft, WBR, along with KRT making the way up the front. Dafford Williams, is he going to close it down? Is he going to want to become a part of this? It looks like it, but it is strung out at this point. Vision here with only Fleetwood in the race, it looks like, from what I can see, is trying to make sure that he is a part of anything that does go up the road. It's a little bit strung out. Nothing too serious, though, as it looks like most of the pack is settled in within a Draft. We do see Young there on the back from Innovation, not with a lot of riders, though he might be in a spot of bother as he needs to make his way forward. He does do so. Innovation now back in the middle of the pack there. There's one falling off the back. It looks like it is a BRT rider with that orange kit with the power tap on. You can always recognize the BRT riders. They usually use an orange Tron bike with that power tap kit. And it is Bergenski now making his way back in. For a moment there, was in a little bit of trouble. Again, out on this crit course, teams matter so much to be able to close things right on down. Innovation back toward the front. Team Experimental sitting in the middle there. A little bit of similar kits there. You can get a bit confused sometimes, as they did both use the Alienware kit in-game for a long time and then made a little bit of changes to it as they did get their own kit in-game. As you can see, we'll go ahead and see if we can find a few of the experimental riders and show you guys exactly what we're talking about there for the kits and recognize who they are out on course here. Where is an experimental? We'll see if we can grab them. I did see Davis for a second there, but we're trying to click. There is Davis. And as we go ahead and look through and see somebody inside of somebody's head there for just a second, there's the Team Experimental kit with that cycling jet on it. Right next to him, one of his teammates looks like will be whoever the teammate is there. There is no experimental in the name, actually, so we'll have to go on through and see if we can click on them for a moment. We do have Cartwright again kicking off the front, and this is a smart move, actually, if you do want to get away on this climb. Go a lot earlier and get a gap, cause the pressure to be on in those orange numbers way earlier, especially at 10 watts per kilogram like this. You can get a gap. You have to match orange numbers of that amplitude. If they go that hard, there isn't really much of a draft you're going to be able to grab from them. Maybe 8-9 watts per kilogram. It's very difficult to really be able to hold that for too long. So it's just a simple response at that kind of speed. Cartwright gets the gap, and now because he has the gap, and if he can kick again through this climb, he'll had already raised the heart rates high enough for long enough that it's a 15 to 30 seconds. Anybody can do that kind of effort at this level for 15 to 30 seconds. It's the 1 to 2 minutes at that kind of a kick that really starts to break things apart. And that's what Cartwright's trying to accomplish here. At least to get a few other riders to go with him and not end up with this large pack. He's trying to put everybody in the pack really into the hurt locker, really over their threshold, so that it ends to break things up. And you can see off the back there already some of the riders that did get put into the red going into the climb. Now as they finish off the climb, not enough effort in there, and 4 riders now falling off the back. If they don't do something now, it might be said and done for them. And it looks like it will be Bergenski sitting in there. Where are the riders here? Dempsey was off the back a little bit, it looks like, as well. Zimmerman looking fine, though. It looks like Kenshin coming out of Canada. That is one of the riders that did fall off here, it looks like, though. And it is also Duncan from Race WBR, their MD from the BRT team. So these are what we were talking about here. Being able to break a couple of riders off each lap. There's not as many in the pack to keep the speed quite as high either. There's also something when it comes to large groups, large pelotons. It's so much easier to keep the speed high as people pull through at 3, 4, 5 watts per kilogram. It doesn't put them too much over threshold, and always that speed can continues to speed up and speed up and speed up as riders make their way to the front at that watts per kilogram. But now, as they do bring the numbers down, it becomes easier and easier with every rider that falls off to break the pack apart. That's where that motivation is for the likes of Cartwright, KRT, and some of these other teams. They want to get the teams as broken apart as possible, as little strength into them as possible, so that they have the most numbers. It's always kind of a tightrope, though, when it comes to that, making sure that you're not dropping off your own riders and everybody is still there. Lots of communication going on between these riders. Look at all the kits out on course here. WBR there. ODZ is there as well. I didn't even notice Talbot's in there. Good to see ODZ represented. Looks like fairly isolated, though, ODZ, and he'll just be following wheels all day long today, that's for sure. Good to see CCS3 over at Mixer. Thanks a lot for the follow. I really appreciate that over there. We've got David Torello. Good to see David jumping into the broadcast here. And let's go ahead and hear who you're cheering for. Let's get a little bit of interaction with chat here. David, thanks a lot for coming in and cheering on Team Draft. Let's start hearing some predictions perhaps as they do finish up lap 3 of 6. We're about halfway done with this race. Number 8 for MVP. We're hearing Anson Brooks is saying that. Garrett Power as well coming through from Stephen Tweed. Appreciate that. And who are we going to give that to today? Simon Russell, I apologize. We said it at the beginning of the broadcast. We actually said it twice because the mic was off at the beginning of the broadcast. Super noob here coming back. But I wish I could. We only have one Zwift instance out here today, and since it is a separated staggered starts, we are unable to cover all of the categories. Next week we'll show up with maybe 2 or 3 Zwift instances, and we'll be able to bring in the more categories. So I apologize we're unable to follow. It would actually make it more interesting probably too as well for you who are watching, as well as being able to switch up between some of the race action at any time, be able to see a lot of the attacks from the other races. We will definitely work on making sure that happens next week with our full setup. So I appreciate the feedback there, Simon. Go Stephen Fleetwood coming from Madi. Use the force. Sorry, you are out there alone coming in from Madi. Messineo first, and McQuaid is second in the series overall right now. That is true. That is true. And currently in this series, it is Messineo with 496 points. Jim McQuaid there sitting in second with 470. I'm not sure. I don't believe Messineo can be touched at this point when it comes to his overall lead. So we'll have to see if maybe second or third place might be any kind of threat. Penn Henderson and actually Bert Gang coming out of Norway for the Viking team are tied for third place. Then we have Alan Hugel, who's averaged 82.6. If he has a couple of good races, Hugel might be able to pull something off here. We'll have to wait and see how that ends up playing out. Lewis Denzel coming in with some KRT hype. Good to see you there, Lewis. Looking forward to Zwift racing in the off-season. David Crisp is saying, great to hear it. And we will have a full schedule of racing here on Zwift Community Live. If you don't know what Zwift Community Live is, this is your one-stop shop for, well, one of the stop shops out there. There are lots of community streamers, actually, and we do like to highlight all of them and chat with them as well as bring them into some of our broadcasts. But for a lot of really great quality streaming of races, as well as community events and things that are happening in Zwift, as well as the not-so-weekly wind-up that we're going to be calling it now for anything that is the latest out on Zwift. We've got all kinds of shows for you, so make sure to hit that follow button for all things Zwift and the community of Zwift. The racing, though, is a huge focus coming this fall and winter, so we'll be having at least 4, if not more, broadcasts a week for Zwift racing, and as it starts to ramp up, we might be able to add some more out into that schedule. So make sure to watch out for all those. We'll be scheduling them up ahead anytime that they are going on. I do believe we do have clips now as well over on Mixer, I believe, as well as over on Facebook. So if you haven't checked out that feature, I do believe you are able to make clips and some of our broadcasts now, which is pretty sweet. You might want to check that out, as Facebook is definitely starting to step up their game when it comes to the streaming world. Now moving to our front now, though, of the race, it does look like Brunswick here Taking a little pull, 4.8 watts per kilogram, nothing too serious just yet. Draft definitely biding their time at this point. Alan Lowe coming through and saying, I love watching Team Draft race. They pretty much Team Sky on Zwift. Draft are some of the nicest blokes out there, though. Ride on dudes. Good to see Alan Lowe coming through, who they're cheering on. But it looks like Jonas now coming on through. Jonas let us know that the Vikings is who he's cheering for. And we do have a few Vikings out there, that's for sure. We were seeing, it looks like Golev as well as we come through here. Let's go ahead and see how all the Viking riders actually are, as we didn't give them a full-on shout-out right from the get-go in this race, as we were chatting about WBR, KRT a little bit more, and a few others, but it does look like BRT actually out there as well in force. And for the Vikings, actually, there's quite a few that have shown out there. Andre Ryland, Hans-Peter Hodal, Kenny Esrod, as well as Maxim Golev, and then it will be Stian Lersvin is out there. I believe Golev might be one of the only ones left in the front group, though, from the Viking team, so he's going to have his work cut out for him in order to come up against some of the strongest riders we've ever seen out on Zwift jumping into this race. Dart Frog out here, Poison Dart Frog, Messineo, current series leader, riding for Draft, going through the fourth lap. Halfway through the fourth lap of 6, up through the hall now at this point. It will be McGonagall now making his way to the front, though, and it looks like the BRT rider letting us know what kind of wattage he's got at 9 watts per kilogram, but here comes Agner. Talbot, though, ODZ, still hanging in there. Third wheel making his way to the front, then it's going to be Agner again. Third wheel, though, KRT letting us know that KRT wants to control this race. Now coming on through, it does look like it will be Kalen there with that full dish wheel. And again, McGonagall, Orgensky, Butler, Zimmerman there from Team Draft with that USA national kit on. Nothing really going anywhere just yet. Agner having to throw down 8 watts per kilogram to jump back on board here. 98 RPMs and no heart rate monitor. Cannot take the category on the day without that heart rate monitor. Just as a warning to all you who are watching, perhaps are unfamiliar with Zwift racing, if you do not register with ZwiftPower.com, you most likely will not be, well, I know for sure in this, you will not be able to win the race or the category on the day, as they do use the results from ZwiftPower.com. But we'll chat about that in a second, because we got a real attack off the front. The current series leader, it is the Poison Dart Frog himself from Team Draft. Messineo now followed closely by the Animal Emoji. Now coming from Animal Emoji out of the UK. Who is Animal Emoji? That's what I want to know. I've never seen Animal Emoji before. There's always somebody flying under the radar with a new name out on Zwift. And Animal Emoji, it looks to be the one now. And I am friends with Animal Emoji. So whoever Animal Emoji is, I know this person. That's probably Adam Webb is what I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm thinking that's One Love throwing down some of the troll style out there out on course. So One Love letting us know what kind of power he's got, and to that pink bike, absolutely loving the wheel of the Dart Frog, though, at this point. Coming on right on through, 6.6 watts per kilogram, and we're calling him out, Adam Webb, Animal Emoji. Trying to get chased down by the Cartwright, though, as Cartwright here knows that KRT's not involved. Dave has seen Cartwright go now. He knows this is a moment of truth in this race with 2 laps to go. Vidar Mail seeing Cartwright trying to make the close, and this is how you make a break stick. You allow them to get 10 seconds, and then you close it down with everything you got, so nobody can follow your wheel. Bard, though, able to jump on here with the rest of the race. WBR 6.2 watts per kilogram. McQuaid now, Draft, Doving there, coming from Team Experimental. Henderson able to hang on as well. Looks like Phillips. Where is the snap, though, in the elastic? Moving our way back. Young moving his way up 9 watts per kilogram at this point. Golev now from the Viking team, the only one left in the race now. It looks like the Vikings able to just hang on at the back end of this race. Always using that Amgen Tour of California kit. When you do reckon, a lot of people do use that out on course, but if you do see a V next to the name and that kit, you know who you are looking at. It is the Vikings here. Agner now off the back, 7 watts per kilogram all day long. Newton trying to hang on from Race WBR. Barry there. Dafford Williams with that sprint kit. Doesn't have the sprint, though, to chase this down. 152 beats per minute. Doesn't seem very high, but we know Dafford doesn't max out very high on the heart rate here. We'll see if he can close this down. I have a feeling he was already a part of a race holding on to that sprint kit currently. Probably going to lose it fairly soon, I would think, here with the current situation. Actually, we're seeing 1122 out there as well. 1185. Interesting that he still has the sprint kit out there, but it looks like it is going to all be coming back together as it does slow down up toward the front end of the race. Let's go ahead and see what we can see. Is that Dempster, though, off the back? He's put his work in, launched the Frog off the front, but it didn't stick. And Dempster the sacrifice of the day for Team Draft, it looks like now. Throwing in the towel for the day. His work is done. Has played the domestique, loosened up the legs of the rest of the riders. 2 laps to go at this point, and now Draft are starting to go on the attack. As you can tell, they sat in for most of the race, and now the work starts to try and really break things apart. Another counter goes up the road, as you do see, does make its way around the corner, actually. Unless that was actually this entire time the Frog was off the front, I think, after they did catch Cartwright. Maybe it's the counter the second they caught Cartwright, it looks like. 9.3 watts per kilogram. Cartwright, knowing that this is a threat here, 12 watts per kilogram coming from him. This is another counter to the immediacy of the catch. And the reality is most of these riders will not be fully recovered at this point. Animal Emoji now, the Adam Webb One Love trying to go right along with it. It is Heidel here as well. I was incorrect. There is one other Viking rider in the race now. It is Heidel holding on to Adam Webb's wheel. 6 seconds is the difference, though. It's going to be 1 lap to go after this one. So with a lap and a half or so, maybe a little more than a lap and a half or so to go. Poison Dart here, 8 watts per kilogram, 192 beats per minute. Cartwright now 6.2, 275 beats per minute now. 5 seconds is the difference. It's going to be all about these meters, though. Will they work together? Will they actually be able to hold on to the kind of power that's needed to hold off a group like this? And with Draft and KRT in this break, it's going to be up to WBR to close this down. Team Experimental, maybe with some firepower in there, but only 4.4 watts per kilogram. That's not going to get it done. Innovation, pretty isolated at this point as well. Phillips, along with Young. Phillips, I think, is going to be the one to have to put the work in, because Steve Young is going to want to put down that sprint at the end of this race. So I have a feeling we are going to see Phillips make his way to the front, throw on a solid 5-6 watts per kilogram to try and close this down. But here goes Davis, knowing the threat is out there, doesn't have a whole lot to work with there from Team Experimental. 10 watts per kilogram coming from Mike Davis out of California. 6 seconds is the difference. If he can jump on before the climb, that's what's going to matter, because he can rest up then on the flat and then be able to have the kind of kick that's needed to hold on to the wheels of the likes of Cartwright and the Poison Dart Frog. These boys are the strongest you've ever seen out on Zwift. Davis trying to close it down. 7 seconds is the difference. WBR throwing in the towel. Do they have the firepower? I think WBR might be losing their race on the day, as these 3 are going away. 3 seconds is all it is, but Dart is still going at 8 watts per kilogram. 195 beats per minute. Can Cartwright hold on even? Does jump into that 6 watts per kilogram for a second. 174 beats per minute. Davis has got his work cut out for him. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to throw it down. It was only 3 seconds. Probably 50 meters at the most to close down still, but it's not going to happen. Davis going backwards at this point at 4 watts per kilogram. He burned the match, it looks like, to close it down. It was not quite enough sulfur on the end, and out he goes back to the pack, and most likely not a whole lot left to hang on once they do hit this second to last climb. He's going to have to be thinking about reserving energy, keeping some speed as well, because it's going to matter how much speed he carries in here. He can't just wait to throw the watts per kilogram down, because they're coming in at 30 miles per hour. Davis at 22. He's got nothing left, it looks like. Better kick it up here. 21 miles per hour. Butler coming flying by at 26 miles per hour here. 9 watts per kilogram coming from this rider. Davis going backwards now. Maybe it was too much and too many matches burned as they made their way into this climb. We'll see if he can hang on. Still a huge pack here with only 13 seconds. Will Cartwright and the Frog be able to hang on? Drafting KRT off the front. Kalen's not going to be doing any work. He's just going to be sitting in. We've got, who else is there from KRT? There were so many, and so many have dropped off at this point. Vang now, it looks like, there as well, and he's going to just be sitting in. KRT, they're not going to do a whole lot of work, and they've got a lot of riders here in and amongst this pack. Now, there are a lot of unattached riders that might have some interest, but again, unattached riders also start to think a lot more about just their own race, and a lot of times they're not going to start working for a team. Unattached riders, sometimes you think, oh yeah, that's some more firepower. A lot of times they say, no, I'm not doing any work. You're a team. You've got the firepower. You've got extra legs. You put the work in. And with how many WBR riders we see in here with not a lot of work putting in, it looks like the tower's thrown. 20 seconds. Will they hold on? 1 lap to go. Messineo as well as Cartwright off the front. My call is this sticks. It is not coming back. That's what I'm thinking here with KRT in there and Draft in there with no motivation to close this down. The strongest riders out on course, unless KRT shoot themselves in the foot. What is going on in the front here? Nope, they are just chasing down the animal emoji. And it looks like Kalen here seeing what he's up to. Phillips wants to get in on the action, though. He doesn't have any teammates really to work with. He's going to jump on Animal Emoji's wheel real quickly and say, let's work together. Let's close this down. It's 20 seconds up. We want to win. Webb, as well as Phillips, both winners many times of races here out on Zwift. Very strong riders. They do not want to see this get away here. Animal Emoji, Adam Webb there, trying to really ramp this up and get a little bit of a gap. Zimmerman just covering it. That's all KRT is going to do. Zimmerman, draft, and the rest of Team Draft, Adam Zimmerman and the rest of the Team Draft, they're just going to be trying to hang on to wheels at this point at the front end, as well as KRT with the third wheel there just hanging on. Kalen there closing things right down. They want it all to stick together. Take the motivation out of the likes of Phillips. Take the motivation out of the likes of Adam Webb and make sure that nothing gets closed down. But Phillips still going 188 beats per minute now at this point. Maybe looking to work for Steve. He doesn't care. Going to sacrifice everything he's got. Young there sitting in, as you can see. He's not doing any work right along with them. So yes, definitely innovation got a plan to close things back down. As you do see, sitting on in the middle of this pack, it's going to be Young, actually up toward the front here, sitting on KRT wheel with Vidar Mail there. So they're Young sitting in, getting the draft, as we do have off the front Phillips. They're still trying to close things down. 7 watts per kilogram, I think it might be done, and they are going to put a dash in the likes of Cartwright and as well as Messineo. Draft and KRT maybe not going to have the best here. And it looks like good luck there from Animal Emoji, as Adam here is maybe saying that enough is enough. I don't got anything left in the legs here. Young now with a counter, though. That was actually a launch pad there set up for Steve Young. 10 watts per kilogram. He's got plenty in the legs there. 5 seconds is the difference. That's it. And it looks like Steve Young has a wattage freaking bazooka at this point. He's going to close it down, and it's going to be 3 on the front, but the dart sees it coming. He's trying to dart away, but I don't think it's going to happen. And I think we have a group of 3, 30 miles per hour, 32 miles per hour. Young just going to need a little bit of a kick. He's got the speed, and it's 9 seconds, and Kalen here sitting on the front and shutting it right on down. This is a fake it till you make it on the front, and that's all that's going to happen here with 10 seconds difference. It's still a race, though. It's still a race. It's 10 seconds. That's all it is. Anyone sitting in from Race WBR at this point that's got any kind of kick might be able to close it down in this final half lap. Half a lap to go. Half a lap to go, boys and girls. We are on the number 6, I believe. I hope I don't got that wrong as we do go into this one. And here, let's go ahead and start hearing the predictions. Simon Russell is saying, what a counter. Amazing counter there by Steve Young. Absolutely killing it out here. Stephen Tweed goes 1. Cartwright goes, you won't see him again unless teams start sacrificing riders. And that's what you see. Phillips out there absolutely sacrificing himself. Steve Young getting the launch pad and goes right up to the wheel. 3 riders off the front at this point. Claudia Varian saying, Vladimir Duke, I need to borrow that. I actually borrowed that one. I believe that's mainly a GCN thing. And coming down through here, Matt Brandt saying, strong versus strong. Messineo is a force. Marty Picalny is letting us know. Mike is bridging it. He was. Mike almost had it. Team Experimental was out there showing us that they've got the power almost to the wheel, but was not able to close down that final 50 meters. It looks like he's going to have to be sitting in and waiting for a sprint. So let us know what you guys think. Go Race WBR. Show them the boom. We're hearing here. WBR, a whole lot of WBR chanting, it looks like here. We'll see if they're able to close it down. Let's jump back into the racing. No Casey Chum out there today. Great question, actually, Hugh Gill. We'll have to give him a little bit of a message to say, hey, where are you at? As Team Experimental not out there in force too much today, with just Davis there kind of solo on the course. So moving our way forward, though, it is still this gap, though, everybody. 10 seconds. That's all it is, as you can see. And let's win it, Leandro. We're hearing from Gavin Dempster. This is the kind of riding that makes me think we need an A+ category coming from Craig Kolb. I'd have, well, perhaps, though, but it's still only a 10-second gap. Perhaps everybody that's made this group actually is going to be a part of that A+ category. And I really appreciate the comment there, Steve Peel. I'd go outside if it wasn't so dang cold out, actually. Tim Cartwright looks like with the heart rate monitor malfunction there for a second. He's definitely not 116 beats per minute, I do not believe. Perhaps just a little bit of electrode off there for a second. McQuaid now has made it up with the team draft. What is going on here? Talk about the counters. McQuaid snuck his way into this group. Now we got a group of 5 that's made it up here. Cartwright, Phillips, McQuaid, Young. It's innovation versus draft with 1 KRT rider in there, but one of the strongest we've ever seen out on Zwift. Who's got the sprint? I have never. Actually, this is an exciting moment. I have never seen these specific 5 riders race up against each other in a sprint. I know Steve Young is known for having one of the strongest sprints out on Zwift, but Cartwright, knowing that, is trying to break things apart. He also has a sprint, but I don't know if it's in the likes of that of Steve Young or perhaps the Poison Dart. I've not seen him sprint as well. Haven't had a lot of coverage of the new uptake to Zwift racing. Seems to be one of the unstoppable forces out there that is riding for Team Draft. It is Messineo here. We'll see what he's got to throw down. But now, 8 seconds back, they've got to worry about what's coming here. And here's the reality. They have put so much effort into making this break happen. They might have to start looking at each other, thinking about reserving energy. And the group behind's got all kinds of matches to burn with plenty of race WBR riders to close things down, and they most likely have a sprinter that has plenty of energy sitting in the wheels still. And Talbot from ODZ here on the solo mission with nobody else with them. David Turriello is letting us know that he's cheering on Leandro. Stephen Tweed said, gotta close it quick, WBR, and that's the reality here. Liam Bard now on the front, being the sacrificial lamb, 182 beats per minute. Third wheel from KRT just sitting in, not wanting to close down, putting all their chips into the Cartwright corner. But it's only 4 seconds. It's going to close down. The motivation is there. Now the reality is, will they be able to counter anything? But no, maybe I'm incorrect here. They're going to make me eat my words. 9 watts per kilogram, and the rest of the pack behind thought it was all said and done, but at 3.9 watts per kilogram, and the orange numbers flying everywhere left and right. Cartwright's saying, not today. Let's keep this out there, and Steve Young just sitting in, getting the benefit. Phillips sitting in as well. Draft sitting in. It's just the KRT train on the front there. Huge engine of Cartwright just making things happen, but the Poison Dart here trying to follow it up. 9 watts per kilogram from him, 180 beats per minute. Now Young, Phillips, all settling down with 10 seconds being the difference. They're just kind of calming it down now at this point. Kalen maybe shooting himself in the foot though, 5.7 watts per kilogram. 10 seconds though, I think it's over. They're within 700 meters. It's not going anywhere at this point. It's going to be between these 5. What's your prediction? Who's it going to be? Team Draft, KRT with 1 rider, or is it going to be Innovation on the day? Here comes Cartwright. Very early attack, 7 watts per kilogram. Phillips is going too, though. Cartwright, 8.7, 9 watts per kilogram, 500, 700 watts coming from Cartwright, though, but they're sitting in the wheel. Perfect time, but Agner, 14 watts. Where did Agner coming from? Who is Agner? But the Poison Dart, the draft is on, and he's out of the draft, and it's going to be Messineo, it looks like. But no, is it Young? It looks like maybe nipped him at the line. Was it Young? We'll have to look at the replay and the results. Leandro and Young to the line, but it's going to be a photo finish between the two. Who was it there? Was it Leandro? Was it Young? Let's go ahead and take a look real quick here at the replay, if I can bring the replay. From who is Agner? But the Poison Dart, the draft is on, and he's out of the draft, and it's going to be Messineo, it looks like. But no, is it Young? It looks correct there. Right at the line. No, I believe Young was 1 millisecond too late. I believe Team Draft there took it at the last moment. We'll wait for ZwiftPower.com for the results there, but what an effort there. Let's see the reaction from the crowd here. Claudia Barron coming on through with an ouch, as it looks like, and yes, that definitely looked like it seriously hurt. We saw 190s, 195s. I'm like kind of glad I don't do this anymore, everybody, because that was insane. Oh my goodness, like I thought I was getting good training back like 2 years ago, year ago out on Zwift. This is absolutely bonkers, you guys, how hard these guys are going. What a close finish there. We're going to get the results here coming on through. Gun Show Boom coming from Lewis Tyndale, coming on Draft, and it looks like Draft just barely was able to pull it off there. It looked like awesome racing guys coming there from Mark Swatton. Very close finish there. Let's go ahead and take a look over here at ZwiftPower.com, see what it has to say at this point for the results. It's telling me David Williams won. I don't think that that's true. No, we're looking through here. Leandro, it looks like by, like I said, 0.05 seconds. Wow, crazy close. That's, I mean, that's absolutely insane. 5/100ths of a second is how close we're talking about for that race. Absolutely right at the line there. Let's take a look at it one more time. This is how close it was. Let's go ahead and bring up that replay because it was literally milliseconds between the difference of these riders out on course, and it was right to the line there with the likes of Leandro. We did have Anger leading things out here, as you can see, and I did kick into that 14, maybe just a little bit too early. It's all about timing here. Here comes the dark horse, 13 wants to cover, and Steve, look at how far back he is, launches this monstrous attack though. 11 watts per kilogram, 12 watts per kilogram, one final kick to line as she sat in and shot in, and right here, as you can see, he's about to overtake, and it was just 0.05 seconds too late. The timing? It's all about. He wasn't young. We'll have to look at the replay and the results. Leandro and Young to the line of the reactions from chat here. And then we're going to be on our way. Definitely just a freaking hacker coming through from Lewis Tinsdale. And then, of course, he always is. That's what happens when you deliver too much mail. You go postal. Craig Kolb here now coming on through says, great commentary. Appreciate that, Craig. And thank you so much for all your support of Zwift Racing, organizing the races, and taking the flack. Because a lot of times there's a lot that comes on through. Again, thanks a lot to Zwift. Thanks a lot to Zwift Power, WBR, as well as Wahoo and No Pins for the support of the racing out here. Let's go ahead and see if there's any more comments real quickly. If you haven't checked this out before, for those of you just wondering, what is Zwift? Massive multiplayer online game in which riders are putting out that real power in order to produce the results that you just saw. I do see a few more new viewers over on some of the streaming platforms, though. If you do want to check out any of the broadcasts from our past broadcasts, you can always do so. We do have a YouTube channel, Zwift Community Live, over on YouTube. All of our VODs are saved over there. There is a store of our VODs as well as on Mixer and Twitch. They're only held, I believe, for about 30 to 60 days, though, if you do want to watch them over on those platforms. And, of course, you can always find us here on Facebook. Now, if you haven't liked us or followed us on any of your favorite platforms, make sure to do so. Hit that like button over on Facebook as well as follow to get notifications anytime we go live. If you do like a streaming platform that does do 1080 by 30 at a higher quality, make sure to head on over to Mixer, hit that follow button, or Twitch, and hit that follow button, and you will get notifications sent to your email, actually, anytime we go live, rather than depending on a social media platform, which will only notify you if your friends and everybody's sharing it up, unless you hit the follow button. There's a little follow thing for notifications you can do on Facebook. For those of you who are new to the streaming world, thanks everybody for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow. SCR Racing. Don't go anywhere. Well, you can go somewhere for just a little while, but in about, let's see here, 22 hours from now, you better be back. I'm just kidding, everybody. Hey, great job to everybody out there. As always, it was really fun being back for some racing here out on Zwift. And great job to all the racers. And as always, ride on.